So welcome to Boxing Media Hub, sponsored by Falcon Contracting and boxbets.co.uk, the home of boxing betting. Wow. We're going to follow on from last night's action. I've got Jam, Darren and Hawkan with me. We're all still buzzing, to be honest. For me, the best British card of the year so far. I think it literally top to bottom. I thought it was absolutely cracking. Let's get straight in, shall we, guys? 6 fights, which was really nice because it automatically said to me, Joel, you're not going to have to get the last train home, which was great. So Alan Babic versus Steve Robinson. Now, Babic, we know what we're going to get with Alan Babic. Savage. You never know what version of him you're going to get. Steve Robinson, the come forward guy, the Disney.
With Disney on.
I love it. I love it.
Robinson's got some chin on him.
Well, when we were obviously like ringside and the fight started, I don't know how you guys were all watching it. It was just madness from the word go, wasn't it? We were expecting overhand rights. We were expecting Clubber Lang style fighting. And that's exactly what we got, didn't we, guys? And Babic really rocked Steve Robinson, didn't he? In the second round, his eyes were gone. And he said he can't even remember. I had a quick chat with him after. He couldn't even remember the next 4 rounds. He said, what round did it end? Because he just went into autopilot of defending himself. And he would go all night. I think we all agree. He'd go all night.
Very
if someone didn't pull him out because he's that sort of heart and sleeve guy.
I think a bit of a late stoppage. I think his corner should have pulled him out probably in the 4th or 5th because he was getting
corner and ref. I think corner and ref should have got in there because
let down. To be honest, in that
it
one,
was dangerous. Darren, what did
his eyes were just gone after round 2? He was gone.
Yeah, he was away with the fairies, wasn't he?
100%. Good fight though. Good fun to watch. While it lasted.
What do you reckon, Darren? What do you think of it?
Yeah, I thought it was like watching 2 geezers slugging it out in the pub car park. To be honest, it weren't pretty, but we all knew what it was going to be. It was what it was. I actually agree with Jams a little bit. I think Steve Robinson's corner probably should have looked at getting him out of there a little bit early. I mean, I've seen the post-fight interview. His eyes absolutely battered in. I think he's got to be. I think you've got to be careful, like how far you go in your boxing career when you're, with all due respect, as limited as Steve Robinson is.
And in wars.
You can't keep taking too many of them kind of fights. I mean, he looks a bit of a punching bag, in all honesty, as regards his limited ability.
Yeah.
And even, I don't think Babic is great, but Babic showed a level above him. So it was entertaining, but I do agree, James. I think the corner should have pulled him out a couple of rounds earlier. It was what it was. Babic moves on. But I think Steve Robinson needs to be careful going forward with his career, how far he goes.
Do you ever think Babic should get in with Hrgovic at some point, make it an all-Croatian affair out in Zagreb?
I think Hrgovic batters him.
100%. Hawkan, what did you make of the fight last night, my friend?
First, the broadcast on Thriller was after that fight, so I didn't watch it. But I have followed the post-fight reactions after that.
Yeah. I spoke to Steve after his fight, and he literally came up to me and I said, so, are you all right, mate? Because his eye was horrific. It was awful. It was like makeup from a zombie film. Like someone had bodged his eye up for him. And he went, I was really annoyed that the ref stopped it. He said, because I was just starting to feel like Babic was fading. And to be fair, engine-wise, he probably was, but Steve wasn't giving anything back. So this is where we've got to find that ground of safety. And he lives to fight another day. you know, it's exactly what I said to him. You fight on another time, mate.
How old is Robinson, by the way? Does anyone know how old exactly he is?
I can have a look,
Early
mate.
30s, I think.
He's in his 30s, yeah. You can't be fighting like that for a long time in your 30s. He's going to get serious damage.
The thing is, like you said, Jack, he did show a good chin. And he did show he's a warrior and he'll keep coming back. But you have got to be careful, like, how far you go, because he's so open and, you know, without being disrespectful, a bit too limited to fighting the likes of Alan Babbage. I mean, you know, he's not going to go any higher than what he is, but fair play to him. He gets in the ring. He's a warrior. He showed that, but you've just got to be careful for your health and safety going forward.
Yeah, 100% agree with that, mate. 100%. I think he should think about calling it now. You know, he's not going to win anything. I think he should probably just call it a day, because them sort of fights are going to permanently damage the rest of his life.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. Babbage is back with a bang. Would like to see Babbage fight Welch next.
Got Welch,
because they're obviously sitting in that the Bridgerweight, isn't it now? It's the Bridgerweight that they're going to be kind of looking at, because he's not a heavyweight. We've got to establish that. You know, people are always going, oh, he's, you know, he could be in there, but he's not.
It was sanctioned as a heavyweight bout last night, though, wasn't it?
I think it was for that one.
Yeah.
But even Babbage in that, he took shots from Steve. Anyone who's got more punch power puts him out.
Like a Dillian White on a clean as Clarke. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Yeah. For Steve show, great heart in the fight. Would like to see Stephen versus TKV.
Yeah, Jamie TKV might be a good fight. It's about the same level, isn't it?
But it is what it is for that one.
Babbage could take them. I think it's the WBA route for the super cruiserweight title.
That's a possibility,
they call it super cruiserweight, and it's the same weight class as Bridgerweight.
Yeah.
There's options. There's options for
I
him.
think he's too small to be a proper heavyweight. You know what I mean?
He's got a following. He's there's no doubt of that. He's got the support, and I think he's got that aura about him, hasn't he? That makes people want to watch him. He's got that.
Yeah.
You know, he talks about the split personality. He talks about he brings something a bit different. But for me, you know, Steve came out of it okay. That's the main thing. We move on. Callum Simpson.
Wow, what a performance!
Yeah, beat Dula Mbabe. Let me get it right. And that was a round 4 stoppage. Cracking, wasn't it? That was a very technical display. Well boxed. Great punch power as well, I have to say. I was really impressed with Callum Simpson. Hawkan, do you want to take this one first? Did you see this one?
Yes. I was I was very impressed with Callum Simpson from the start to the finish. And his Barnsley fans that traveled down to London, I think he has a great following from Barnsley that follow him.
What about
now the fight looks that he would face Zach Shelley in a big fight now.
Yeah, cracking fight.
Yeah, cracking fight, and I'm looking forward to that fight. That fight could be on a maybe summer undercard, big summer fight for boxer on the undercard. Maybe the Reactpo Chris Billem-Smith undercard that have been talked about June 15 in London.
Yeah, what a cracking fight for an undercard. As I say, they were absolutely in full voice last night. Apparently 200 to 300 of them travelled to support him, and they did not stop singing "He's one of our own." It was incredible all night. And they, you know, I think they did really well at the bar as well. So the bar were happy at the O2. So, yeah.
£15 a pint, mate. I bet they made a fortune.
Yeah, that's why I didn't drink, mate. Simpson is class, and I think he beat Zach Chelly. Oh,
I don't know about that.
I do you know what? It's an intriguing one. I'll jump to Darren. What did you think, Darren? Simpson was class, but Zach Chelly next. He was ringside as well. That's a great one.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good performance. Like you say, showed great boxing skills, great finish. I mean, that guy that he beat doesn't get stopped much. I know he's lost about, I think it's like 13 or 14 fights, but I think that's only the second or third time he's ever been stopped. So very impressive performance. I mean, going forward against Zach Chelly, I actually think Callum Simpson beats him. I like Zach Chelly. He's done really well, but I think Simpson will just have a little bit too much for Zach Chelly.
Yeah, I think it's a real intriguing fight. You got two guys who are really sort of coming together at the right time as well, aren't they? Zach's sort of really feeling it now. He's in a really good place, and he's fought hard for it, hasn't he? So, you know, Sam said he's heard that it's potentially in Barnsley, which would be an absolute cracker. And big shout out to Ra as well. Evening. I saw him there with his hat. Jan, I'll take you on to the next one. Are you happy to take the next one? Vidal Riley versus, sorry, mate, Mikael Lawal. The build up to this one was great. I thought we're going to see a great fight here. Cruiserweights always seem to, it's a great division, isn't it? You've got that mixture of speed and power coming together. Vidal Riley obviously retained the English cruiser. But if you wanted to go to the bar or have a nap, this was a one, unfortunately, wasn't it, mate?
Yeah, 100%, mate. Yeah, I've got a lot of love for Vidal. He's doing good things considering he's limited. You know what I mean? But the fight was just running, just hitting and running. I know that's the aim of the game, hit and not get hit. But my God, it was boring. Yeah, honestly, I almost switched it off. It was that bad. Fights Isaac Chamberlain next. He'll get his head took off.
But I think we're going to get a similar sort of style. I think that's just Vidal Riley. I think now he's moving up the levels. I think we're now going to see where the hype train's going to stop.
It definitely will stop.
And I don't mean that in a nasty way, but I think, like Darren was saying earlier, we've got levels to this game, and this is where we're going to see the levels.
Relatively small for a cruiser as well. You know what I mean? He doesn't look big as a cruiser.
Sam has put, I had 99 to 91 Riley, very one-sided. Lawal didn't offer much. I don't think he did really anything at all. For someone who was going to take his face off, was Riley is skilled, but he's a small cruiser. I've heard Isaac will vacate to fight. Yeah.
D-slack.
That'd be a great fight, to be fair. I think it was a great performance from Vidal, but it was an awful fight. I think he did what he had to do. I think it's fair to say, isn't it, Darren? I think he did. Yeah, he didn't look in the best shape for me, though. He
was a bit fleshy, weren't he?
Yeah.
Well, I actually, for a fan's perspective of entertainment, it was very poor. But I actually thought Vidal Riley done a very good job. But he was sort of on the move quite a lot, and what some people deem running away. But he got through the fight. He got the W. He was pretty comfortable. Mikael Lawal, I thought himself was a bit negative.
He looked shocked in the last two fights.
Yeah.
Probably the best scout, though, on Vidal's record, wouldn't you say now?
Oh, that goes without saying.
Without a shadow of a doubt. But the fight, for me, on paper, was a very, very good one. But I was always a bit suspect about whether the styles were going to gel. Yeah. So I wasn't too surprised that it was a bit of a stinker. But good win. Move on to the next. Maybe see Isaac Chamberlain. We'll see. But like you say, I don't know whether that's going to be a stylistically great fight to watch.
Yeah.
And it does come down to Vidal Riley, a lot of it.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think when it came out last night that was the next potential, it was almost like, okay, we're just going to see more of the same here. Hawkan, what do you think if Isaac Chamberlain goes against Vidal Riley next. Are we going to see much difference, do you think?
Not much difference, I believe, but first they had to vacate if that fight gonna happen. Clarke is mandatory, and so I think they will vacate the title, and not facing Clarke.
Yeah, to be fair, I would. I wouldn't want to fight Clarke, to be fair. I think he is one of the guys that is giving a bit of hope and is on the rise. I think he's cracking.
C4 is one of the best around.
He's brilliant. Sure. He was there last night as well, to be fair, keeping an eye on things. Riley is the right size for the old cruiser limit of 190 pounds. Had to see where Lowell goes after 2 terrible performances in a row at British level. Well, you think that was English level last night, so it's not looking great.
Attention, hasn't he?
Yeah. I think Riley makes one more defence, see where he is. King Isles, thank you very much. I really like Vidal. I want him to go far, but I find it laughable seeing the YouTube boxing fans saying he'll be a world champ. Say no more. Clarke's a good fight. Yeah. Good old chef.
Good for Clarke, not good for Vidal.
Yeah.
Run from C4.
Jam. I'm going to give this one to you because I know he's your boy at the moment. Ben Whittaker beat Leon Willings, which was a win on points, an 8-rounder. But I have to say, Leon Willings, what a tough lad. And he has come out with major credit out of this fight, hasn't
he? 100%, mate. To be honest, last night, Whittaker turned me off again. I became a massive fan in his last fight, but this one, I found him to be quite pedestrian. He was doing the arrogant stuff, but without backing it up again, just back to exactly what he was like before. And to be honest, I did not enjoy that performance either. Wasn't as bad as the Riley fight, but it was not a good watch.
Yeah. I think he did what he did, but he's almost playing to the crowd now because he knows that's the thing to keep the eyes on him, isn't it?
I like Willings doing it back to him, though. Willings were doing a bit of showboating himself at points, and I enjoyed that.
I thought, what a cracking lad. I don't know how you saw it, Darren, but I thought he had a hell of a chin on him. Some of the shots he took from Ben Whittaker, but some of the shots that he delivered, I think it just showed that actually Leon could compete at a good level here. Don't you think, Darren?
Yeah, he done really well. I mean, hats off to him. He really, I was going to say he dug in. He didn't just dug in. He actually had a good go back. He weren't there just to make up the numbers. I don't think Ben Whittaker's the biggest puncher, to be honest with you. Very, very quick, accurate, but I don't think he's the biggest puncher. And for me, that fight last night for Ben Whittaker was a bit of a strange performance because there were some points in the fight, for example, where he actually backed himself up to the corner and got on the defensive, and it was as though he was testing his own skills out against someone coming at him.
Yeah.
I feel like you'll see the best of Ben Whittaker when he's in with much, much better opponents, with all due respect, because like I say, he done really well.
You remember Zach I think he's very run around and do his antics then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I think he is very, very good. He did get caught last night, and he has got still a lot to learn and a lot to work on. But I think Whittaker is very, very good, and I think it was a bit of a strange performance. The way I felt like he was testing himself a little bit, like backing into the corner, walking.
He was bringing it on, wasn't he, to show he's actually more resilient rather than just technically gifted.
Not just poser, basically.
Yeah, it was as though he was trying to like test his defensive skills and his movement and that. So I wouldn't read loads into that. It was a win. He won on points. I think he should have stopped him really, but I don't read too much into it from like how bad Whittaker was, sort of thing.
No.
Yeah. And I think Ras says it here. Willings deserves a build-up and not to be used as a measuring stick.
Yeah,
I think
he
that's
deserves
spot on.
another fight. Yeah.
I think that's spot on. It was good to see someone give it back to him. Whittaker progress is disappointing. I'm gonna absolutely nil this. Thank you very much. Who he beat at the Olympics is fighting Bolotniks next. Yeah, good fight. Huge fights out there for Leon. I think Carol Toma, would be a good fight for him.
Yeah.
Willings an area title next.
He definitely deserves a go on a decent show like that. 100%.
Yeah. So Hawkan, we're going to use you to move to the next one. Florian Marcoux. Now, we know this guy has an Albanian following like no one else. I've never been at a boxing event where it's felt so hostile, and it literally felt like he was fighting in Albania. The support level was unreal. I am, and I'm not joking. You probably heard it on the telly. The moment his music hits and it's saying Marcoux, they are really going for it. These guys, they really are passionate about this man. But a loss to Chris Congo last night, who I thought put on a hell of a boxing display from, I'd say, round 5 onwards. He really got behind the jab. He landed some great shots as well. Hawkan, what did you make of it?
I was supported Florian Marcoux. I have a lot of friends in boxing from Kosovo and Albania. And so I was disappointed with Marco's performance. I thought more from Florian Marcoux. But I think that Chris Congo's performance was top-notch, much better than I thought. So he won the fight pretty easy in the end.
Yeah.
And I have been to a Robin Krasniqi fight in Germany, the German-based Albanian, and the following for the Albanian fighters are, like you said, last night. That when I was in Germany, was the atmosphere from the Albanian fans was amazing.
Yeah,
you don't see
really
that in Germany normally, but from the Albanian fans, was pretty. That fight was a big one in Germany against Dominic Brazil 2 years ago.
Yeah. Well, it's Jam. A lot of people wrote Chris Congo off majorly, thinking he's just going to get chin. He's just going to. I think he showed extreme balls last night. Obviously, there was the point deduction by Marcoux. He was doing a bit of rabbit punching. He was being a bit messy. He was being a bit dirty. But to be fair to him, he Congo stuck to his game plan, didn't he?
Yeah, he certainly did, mate. Yeah. It was a really, really gritty and good performance from Chris Congo. I was very surprised. I knew he was good, but I didn't think he had that type of performance in him.
Yeah.
So I was really happy for him. I was disappointed in Marcoux. He just did not let his real punches go, and he just seemed a bit gun-shy.
I think he had the first 3 rounds, though, wouldn't you say? I think
I gave him the first
good
two.
start.
Give him the first 2.
Yeah.
The third one, it was like I couldn't split them really. But yeah, Congo took over from about the 4th or 5th. He was like clearly the dominant fighter. And Marcoux just never really went to that next gear and gave it a real good go. So for that, I was really disappointed. And we had over 3,800 people in the chats on Boxing Media Hub for that fight. So the Albanian fans come out in the masses.
Yeah, they do every time, mate. They do every time. Darren, obviously the point deduction, there was a lot of pulling and there was a lot of sort of punches behind the head and this sort of thing. But this is also Marcoux, isn't it? This is he roughs you up, he makes you feel uncomfortable so that you do make the mistakes and he capitalizes. But last night, as I say, too slick proved his name, didn't he? Last night, I thought he was brilliant.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I actually backed Marcoux to win on points. I thought Marcoux would beat him, but I thought Congo made him look limited. Very, very average. Marcoux was coming forward, trying to let his shots go. No real movement. Very, very pedestrian, really, how he was coming forward. No real move, just same old every round, nothing changed. And Congo was able to read it, pick him off on the move as well a lot. But Congo's thoroughly deserved winner. And like I said, I thought Marco, like he brings the crowd behind him. I've been through a couple of his fights. I think one of them was on the Usyk AJ undercard, or was that? And I've seen like the following he has. And if I was them, I'd be extremely disappointed. And I just thought he was very lackluster.
Do you think he should go back to kickboxing?
Well, I think he's, he'll come again, and he needs sort of like high-profile-ish sort of fights. But he's got to, as he's reaching a higher level, he's got to change his style a little bit for me. It's all very much the same all the time, no real plan B. And when that plan A don't work, he's got no plan B.
There's nothing, is there?
Like a brawler, but then doesn't throw enough punches. That's what I found. Like
I think he was throwing the punches. I just thought he couldn't get through.
Yeah. Chris was good. Chris
very good.
Chris kept the game plan. I think that's the thing. He kept that high guard. Yeah. He kept the high guard. He waited for, and I think he genuinely waited for the engine to blow. He thought he's got to give at some point, and I think as Jan was saying, halfway through the fourth, going into the fifth, he was like, "Now I put the pressure on." And Chris shot out, and he worked behind that jab, and he was landing some big right hands himself. But I think we saw that brawler versus boxer situation again yesterday, and you always get a tactician will always beat that brawler because he waits for the moment and he picks the shots. And I thought he picked the shots brilliantly last night. Marku just doesn't have it. Not a big puncher, not iron-chinned, not high volume.
Well, that might be the case. Like I'm saying, he needs a plan B. Perhaps he's never going to have a plan B, and he's just not that good enough. And another point to mention is Chris Congo was cut quite early in that fight as well.
Yeah, that was a nasty cut as well. To be fair, I thought they were brilliant in the corner. I thought the corner did some great work with that eye.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, but brilliant. Taking nothing away from Chris Congo, brilliant performance. But I thought Marco was just too much of the same every round.
Where would you go with Congo next? What level do you think he deserves at? Would you put him at world level after beating Marco?
Sam said,
no, not yet. No.
Esserman 2.
Yeah,
Congo
I think that's
Esserman 2.
Yeah. Maybe go down that route first. Yeah, I wouldn't go up too much because he has been a bit hit and miss himself, Chris Congo. So
so we'll
keep level-headed about it.
We'll ask Hawkan the other question. Where does Marku go next?
I'm not sure where Mark goes next.
There we go. If Hawkan's lost faith.
But I hope for his Albanian following, and I'm close friend with a matchmaker Artan Verbica from Kosovo, who's close to Florian Marko too. He's not managed him, but he's close to him. So I'm not sure what Florian Marko next, but I think they would get an tune-up fight next. So go down and maybe go down in level a little bit to have a tune-up fight. Yeah. And then go forward from that.
Almost get a knockout again, get the confidence back to get back into another dust up almost. Yeah. No, 100%. Sam's coming as well. Too slick. Yeah, they're loving it. Chris deserves a rematch with Echo or get him a European title shot. Marku won 1 or 2 rounds. That's it. Yeah, we're kind of sitting around that.
I had it 98-92, so yeah.
Yeah. I think Congo had the best performance last night. Marku needs another limited brawler to look good against.
Yeah.
100%. Hello. And yeah, I think that's where that one sits. I don't think any of us can disagree with anything up to this point before we go to the main event. Because it is what it is really, you know, Alan Babbage, he did the job. Callum Simpson, he did the job. Vidal Riley, it was comfortable points because there was nothing coming back. Whitaker almost made himself look slightly disappointing because of how his display was. But credit to Leon Willings, Marku,
very disappointed.
Outboxed by Chris Conger. I thought the plan was spot on, and I think that was that's exactly what it was. Sam has said Liam Taylor or Casey Benjamin next for Marku. Yeah. Good old Sam. He knows, doesn't he?
WF boxing.
He knows. He's too clever for his own good, that young kid. Right. The main event, guys. Now, there was a massive buzz around the arena for this. When this was announced, I know me and Jam were buzzing for it because this, for me, the British title fights always bring out the best in people, don't they? I got this wrong last night in the sense of I thought Fabio would knock him out. I thought he was going to get the job done. But credit to Fraser Clarke. He showed extreme balls. So did Fabio, don't get me wrong. Anyone who has no nose left at the end of a fight, because that was horrific. How you were breathing, goodness sake, let alone throw the shots he was throwing. Sam said it. What a main event. And it was. It topped off the whole thing perfectly. Who wants this first? Obviously, we'll say Fraser Clarke was down in the 5th. He had a point deducted in the 7th for low blows.
What cost him the fight?
Yeah. Sam, before we get going, said I had it 114 to 112. Fabio. I actually thought, go on, Jam. You take this one first.
Okay. I thought Fraser Clarke showed something that I didn't think he had. I didn't think Fraser Clarke would be able to fight Fabio Wardley at his own game and still come out with a draw. And like I said, without the point off and the knockdown, he wins by 3 rounds comfortably. So I was disappointed in Fabio in that sense, but obviously what a fight and what a man to carry on with that damaged nose, because it was a real mess. I'd love to see it run back. I think we have to see that fight again at a big stage where I think they'll sell 50,000. I really do. Because people are going to really want to see this fight now and get like someone like Simpson on the undercard in a big fight. I think it sells itself and we need to see it run back.
You know where the rematch is going though, don't you? That will definitely happen at Ipswich Town.
Portman Road, Ipswich.
Exactly. That
Fabio though was talking afterwards about not really wanting it.
But
that don't hold 50,000 though.
No, certainly doesn't.
No.
28, but I don't think it's going to happen anyway because Fabio basically was saying after he's got other things on his mind, other things he wants to do first.
Yeah, I think he said he's open to it, didn't he? He did say I'm
I
open
would.
to it, but there's other stuff that I want as well. And I thought fair dues to him. He's not lying and he's not hiding from anything. He said it's obviously on the table, but I've got my eyes set on other things.
I think his team just assumed they were going to win and they've already planned something else, to be honest. I think they assumed Wardley was going to win comfortably with a knockout and they've already arranged something else. So that's why he was saying that. He personally wants the rematch, but I think his team have already arranged something different.
Yeah.
I think Portman Road will be maybe difficult to have during the football season. And I think for the rematch, it's too early to have it before the football season starts in August. I think they deserve a long break, both fighters, and the rematch for October time for me. If we get a rematch,
as you say, it could be the fact that Fabio's got another fight lined up, and then we go to Fraser Clarke again after.
As long as he wins the belts.
Yeah, this is it. Maybe there is that sort of. He was trying to position that Portman Road thing, and now the recovery is going to take a lot longer than expected, and there's other things to sort out. But what a cracking fight, though, Darren. Let's not beat around it. It had everything. And do you know what? It was, I thought Chris Borg Ash Lane last week was a cracker. And then to see the heavyweight boys replicate a special moment for the British title again, and Commonwealth and European, just cracking, absolutely cracking. It had everything, didn't it, mate?
Oh, it was absolutely brilliant fight. I mean, my prediction was Fabio Wardley would probably win rounds 7 to 9, something like that. And I agree a little bit with what Jam said a little bit. I wasn't sure if Fraser Clarke had that dog in him, like I thought Fabio Wardley had. But as regards my assessment of the fight, I think overall the draw was probably the fair result.
Yeah.
Because I thought the first 5 rounds, I thought probably 4-1 Clarke. I thought Wardley then took a few. Clarke took a couple in the middle after that, and then Wardley then took a few. So it was a very, very close fight, and I think for the fans as well, the draw was the fair result that we get to see it again. Well, hopefully, but I thought Fraser Clarke was the better boxer.
Yeah,
had done the better technical work. I thought Wardley looked the more powerful. But I think hats off to both of them. They both showed chins, and they both absolutely come out of that with massive respect for what warriors they were. But I thought it was a brilliant fight. They went toe to toe. It had a knockdown. It had point deduction, which I thought that was harsh, by the way.
Yeah, first punch of the fight that he'd done low, so it was a bit harsh to get the point straight away.
Yeah, there was no warnings and nothing, and I think that was harsh.
I didn't see a warning. Someone next to me went, "Yeah, he's been warned," but the warning, in my respect, is when you take a fighter to a corner or you have a word with a fighter and say, "This is your warning. This is your last chance," not to go like this. That's not a warning. You're just telling a fighter to keep his punches up. That's the first warning. Then you take him to the corner and you say, if you do it again, you're having a point gone. But he didn't do that. So
no, he didn't.
It is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. And
again, what cost him the fight in the end?
Yeah. I just
thought can ruin a fighter's career. Imagine if Wardley had got the win by 1 point because of that. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why I say I think really the draw. Like I understand why, but I understand why both of them are very disappointed. But the draw for me, I don't really feel like there was a deserved winner in that. So I think it was the fair result. Yeah, and they get to run it back, and hopefully we get a conclusive victory in the end. But whether we see the same fight again in the rematch, because like even Fabio Wardley saying at the post-fight presser, I can't keep having too many of them fights. It takes years off your life. Which, is he going to try and come in with a plan B next time and try and box a bit more, whatever? But can he do that? That's the intriguing thing. Who will learn from that fight going forward into the rematch?
I actually thought he held his jab really well last night, Fabio Wardley. I think he had to look at the guy in front of him and think, now I'm against an Olympian here. I'm against an Olympian, and I've got to show that there's more to my game. And don't get me wrong, his success, like you were saying, Darren, his success was in the power shots, in the overhand rights, the accumulation of punches, bullying someone into a corner and really going some. And do you know what I was really impressed with? Fabio's engine. I know he did look tired at times. But I think he was
struggling to break up.
I think if your nose is shot to pieces, and that's probably one of the worst noses I've seen, other than my own, is just horrific. It was horrific.
It was, The way I'll just say though,
of course.
Perhaps, sorry, just quickly. Fabio Wardley, for me, looked tired from 6 rounds onwards, but I felt like he got the second win better than Fraser Clarke did. I mean, if you looked at the end of the fight, Fraser Clarke sagged on the ropes, sat down on the ropes. He was absolutely. I mean, he went back round 12. He was gone.
You called it in the watch. He was gone. Fraser Clarke's hanging over the bloody ropes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was gone. He was absolutely shattered. Whereas I thought Wardley's engine, for not having the experience of what Clarke's had, we go in the distance. I thought Wardley come through that better than Clarke.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that.
Well, Hawkan, rematch or no rematch?
I would love a rematch, but like I said, I hope and believe that the rematch will be maybe in 6 months, and they can talk up the fight, the rematch. And I've heard that Ben Shalom talking about if we could get it as a pay-per-view on Sky Sports for the rematch.
You can see it if that's bought it. But the thing is, what you've got to do is you've also got to have another undercard like we had to also sell that pay-per-view. Like because that was quality last night for something that wasn't pay-per-view, in my opinion. I thought that was brilliant. And 6 fights as well. You weren't bombarded with what I'd say meaningless. That nothing seemed meaningless last night.
Everything had a reason, didn't it? Everything
and I thought it was just superb. Raz put, I thought Fabio won clearly with the knockdown and deduction. Do you know the mad thing is, I genuinely thought Fabio won it. That's where I was sitting. But when you, as Darren was saying, I think you have to look at it and you have to say the boxing brain goes to Fraser Clarke. I think he was spot on, tactic and as you say, he showed something different, and I think he shows now a real danger to other heavyweights as well. I think he really showed his purpose, but the draw comes into it because you can't knock Fabio's heart. You just get the heart in there and the desire to get to the end and to keep throwing when he couldn't see, he couldn't breathe. That is British title fight for me. That just said it last night. I thought that was outstanding.
Really was
best fight I've seen live. Ash versus Chris Borg last weekend was amazing on a different level, on a personal level for me. But this last night just had everything for the full length of a fight, for all the marbles, and I thought it was spot on.
What would you think about the rematch in the time at a stadium with Callum Simpson against Edgar Blanca Jr. on the undercard? What do you think of that?
Now we're just dreaming now, which is lovely.
Hey, but he looked terrible in his last fight, though, didn't he, Belanga? So you never know. Callum. Another
thing that did come out quickly last night. Obviously, I don't know if you caught it on the telly, lads. We had Chris Eubanks Sr. and Barry McGuigan in the ring. And they announced that we're going to see Adam Azim versus Harlem Eubank. Obviously, it's not the fight that we thought we were going to see.
Dalton Smith against Azim.
Dalton was there, so we all assumed that we were going to hear this news. And then all of a sudden, we got that. Darren, how did you feel?
I don't actually mind the fight. I think the fight's okay. I'm perfectly happy to see it, but it's a bit of a cop out for, like you say, the Adam Azim Dalton Smith.
It's a duck job.
Yeah, it does come across that way. I mean, within like a week of talks about, we're going to see Dalton Smith, Adam Azim, they're very quick to move Adam Azim on away from that fight to go with Harlem Eubank. Okay fight, I don't mind it, but it's the cop out for Dalton Smith that I'm a bit against with it, really.
I'm with you in some respects. I don't know if it's ducking in the sense of it's Adam Azim. I
don't think it is.
I think it's the team that have gone, well, actually, we want to keep the record, and then that could be a bigger fight down the line because they're both young guys. I think they're still building the Adam Azim profile and they're still building him up, and he's got a massive following already. So they want to make him, like Barry McGuigan said, he is the new guy in our stable. He's the guy that we're kind of pinning hope on. So I think that comes with time. But Harlem Eubank is no mug. Let's get this right. I think that's a cracker. Hawkan, how do you see that one? Obviously, we're going to do a prediction show when it gets announced.
Yeah. First, in Sheffield, I had a chat with people from Matchroom, and we talked about the the potential at MSE, and they told me that they had already told Matchroom that they didn't want that fight, and but they hadn't officially done it. So for me, this wasn't any surprise at all. So when I talked with my contact at Matchroom that I met in Sheffield, I thought, and I have a chat also with Tom Dallas, Matchroom matchmaker in Sheffield, and he said the same. So for me, no surprise, and I think it's a bit disappointment that for me, that I don't get that fight next, but they vacate the European now, but I don't think Dalton Smith will fight for the European either now.
Yeah.
So I think Matchroom will look after a fight at world level for Dalton Smith next.
Yeah.
Maybe Regis Progress.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be a good fight with Rugaroo.
Really good fight. So that's what I believe will happen next.
If that fight happens next as well, to be fair, with Progress, they're sort of like catching him at the right time as well.
Yeah, he's on the line.
Yeah.
No, definitely. Well, just quickly, we're going to jump back to Wardley Clarke because people haven't finished. I actually think it will be better if it's not an immediate rematch. And I kind of get that. I do kind of get that. Build it a bit. I think they could go away. They could have those fights. Exactly. So, get the nose built again. We've got a breakdown there. Sam's already saying hyped for the rematch already. So we've got a good mixture there in the comments. I just thought out of 10, what are we rating the card jam last night?
9.5, mate. 9.5. Just the Vidal Riley running bit, even though it was a class performance and a great win, it just spoils it. And Whittaker trying to be a bit of a tough man rather than showing his class. Just a little bit of a disappointment, so I'll take half a mark away for that. So 9.5 for me. Cool.
Darren, what do you reckon, mate?
I'll give the main event 10 out of 10. The card, I'd probably give it 8.
Yeah. No, I'm with you with the main event, mate. 100%. Håkan, what do you reckon? Out of 10, where are we sitting?
Main event 10 out of 10, and the full card 8 out of 10, and still I believe that the PBC card was better all the way, but the main event was much better in London.
Cool. Yeah, I absolutely loved it. As I say, I was there, and just to see it get better and better was just incredible. Babic sets up a really good evening because he is what he is. The demolition job, isn't he? Until he meets that person, in my opinion. Callum Smith, for me, individual performance, I thought he was fantastic. Vidal Riley gets the job done. I think that's all we can say about that one. Ben Whittaker, I think the standout in that one was Leon Williams. I think he comes out with the credit in that one. Ben gets the win. That's it. He moves on. Leon, that propels him into more fights because people are going to go, wow, this kid's got something.
Regarding Ben Whittaker, I think I hope they take him at a better opposition now, and I think Shaken Peters could be a good step up.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, that'd be a cracker.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Would be a cracker.
Earlier, took Zach Parker and see what he's really made of.
We shall see. I think the beauty is there's so many fights. There is so many fights, and I think when the competition goes up, I think we'll see Ben Whittaker go up. I think that's how we're going to see it, to be fair. I think we're going to see the best of Ben when he's got better in front of him, because he knows he can't afford to do that switching off. We're going to see quality.
Will he ever become the mayor of Wolverhampton? That was his dream originally.
Who knows, mate? Who knows? I liked the to the corner. Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was really good.
I did like that. That did make me giggle. Congo, outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. And to see the guy break down his team, I had a quick chat with, and I think I got hugged by every single member of them. What they just, to the core, they just believed from the start, which was amazing in that environment. He could have been really turned off in that environment when you think he's from South London, I think. And he's literally down the road and he's feeling like an away fighter. Just unbelievable. And Wardley Clarke, the gift that just keeps on giving. I could watch that fight time and time again. I don't think it's ever going to get boring.
I've watched it 4 times already. I have.
Yeah, I got home and watched it.
I watched it twice after I'd done the watch along, and then I watched it again when I got up this afternoon. When I got back this afternoon, it was fantastic every time.
Yeah,
I was still cheering Wardley like I didn't know what was going to happen.
So do you know what? What a card! Thank you very much, boys. As always, Jam and Darren and Neutral as well. Big shout out to those boys for what they do with the live watch alongs and stuff. I really appreciate it. Horkan, we're going to see you again soon because we've got more prediction shows coming up. Darren will join the flock as well. But honestly, I'm just buzzing. I'm still buzzing. And it put boxing back in a good place yesterday. I know we've had a lot of drugs and all this sort of thing and all sorts of things going on. And this just put it back, really did, and loved it. And
the last 3 weeks, with the 3 main promoters in the UK has had awesome fight nights.
Yeah, definitely.
So
boxing is back.
Yeah, brilliant fight nights.
Yeah, and I think that was the thing. Everyone, I know people were talking about it all over X and all over the different socials that, the Saudis are in. They're taking it away from. I don't think they are trying to take it away. I just think they're trying to build something in Saudi Arabia. And they're making the fights that they can make because the money and investment is there. We saw yesterday what we can put on, and it was outstanding. So hats off to Ben Shalom and the boxer team. They nailed it yesterday.
Yeah,
absolutely nailed it. So boys, as I say, thank you very much. As always, Horkan's getting some love. Still the ultimate fan from Ra there.
100%.
He is.
Thank you, Ra Horkan.
He is.
Everyone join Ra and Rico on Thursday on their show, the R&R Hour. It's fantastic watch. They're real good lads. They let you jump in if you need to chat about anything. They're real good lads, man. So just join them as well. We're all a boxing community. It's all love.
That's it. This week on Boxing Media Hub, before we go, we've got it's mad. Louis Smithson is going to be on tomorrow. And then we've got Echo Usman, which is going to be a cracker on Thursday.
I'm looking forward to that one on Thursday.
Honestly, mate, so am I.
You've got number one on Joel, haven't you? You've already had a number.
One that came in late today, Michael McKinson will be joining us on Thursday as well.
Wow.
Looking forward to that one. So it's all happening. Hit the subscribe button, people, and check out the rest of the content. And do you know what? I absolutely love Ra. I'm not going to lie. He was brilliant last night. Massive love to him as well. So, yeah, hit the subscribe button. Check out the rest of the content. Jam, Darren and Horkan, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ben Shalom. And we will see you very soon. Have some of this, boys.
Have it.